afternoon, boys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of Trap Lines and Inlines. Today is gonna be another day of working on the chicken coop build here. This will be part 4 of the series here, and today we're gonna be sheathing the exterior with OSB plywood there. This is 7/16 plywood that I'm going to be using to sheathe the exterior of the structure. It's one rainy, ugly, miserable day. Today it's just puddles of water. I hardly made her up here with the old 12 valve, but I don't got time to sit around and I don't like making excuses, so let's get right at her, boys. Stay tuned. Okay, just getting started on some of the easy stuff here. I'll show you how I'm doing it here. So from the bottom of this frame wall, lining up to the bottom of the 2x4 to the top there, the whole top plate is covered with rafter tails there. So or where the bird's mouth is, it comes right to the bottom of that. So I'm cutting these pieces. These are 96 inches, 8 foot. So I'm cutting 3/4 of an inch off them, lining it up with the bottom of the wall here. You see this piece here on our floor frame, and there's our 2 pieces of plywood there exposed. We're not going to worry about that right now. You can see I'm running these sheets vertical because it just works out so nice. You can see with the stud dimensions that we've used, and you can see in episode 2 there, these sheets line up right to the center of the stud there. These are all just tacked in here, so, and they line right up nice to the top there as well. Putting up these big fucking 4x8 sheets by yourself, man, it can be a bit of a pain in the ass, but a couple little things you can do. You put little nails down, hold things up, yeah, it's just takes a little patience, I guess. On these ones I'm running 2 horizontal sheets because it's an 8-foot wall. It does overlap a bit onto the top plate of that one, but we won't worry about that at all because we still gotta put our measurement here for our piece of plywood up to cover the rafter in this triangular section up here, so we won't worry about that too much. I am using 2-inch framing nails to nail this stuff down. Standard nail spacing is 6 inches along the perimeter of the sheath, and 12 inches on your secondary supports, which are these studs in the middle here. Hey, with this structure, really none of these studs are gonna line up, or these alignment lines are gonna line up, especially when we're running them vertical. But you see, because our walls come out here, I guess I could have engineered that a little better, but you see, with a structure this small, you can just find where the stud is and then just work your way down and up, and it's really no problem at all. So like I said there, we got to shave 3/4 of an inch off these long vertical pieces here. It's really not too bad of an inconvenience, and you're not losing too much material, so I'm not too disappointed. But these are 96 inches. We need them 95 1/4, so we'll just mark off 3/4 of an inch here. And I put it in 2 places. And then I just used a nice straight 2x4 as a ruler here, eh? A nice level works good too. And then you have a line to cut it. And I just cut this with my skill saw. Okay, back in action here today. Got rained out real bad yesterday. We got soaked, me and the dog. Shit, it was no good. But anyway, another day giving her. And got my bed frame moved out to the cabin today, so that was deadly. I had been sleeping on that plywood floor, and you know, I slept on that plywood floor 20 times too many. And it was not deadly. Getting real sick of it, boys, eh? But it's another ugly day up here in the north. It'll probably freeze tonight, so I brought up a couple extra blankets so I don't freeze there big time. But yeah, so I've decided here I'm gonna cut out these openings after I get everything nailed around the window. I'll just chainsaw them out from the inside. I just think it's a little bit easier here than pizzing around cutting these sections out here, and you know, saves you the time of measuring, and you know, like, you're gonna have a little bit of imperfection to clean up with the skill saw anyway. Cutting out these big openings, it's a little hard. Or these openings, it's hard to do, especially when it ends up being in the middle of a sheet. So I'll just chainsaw them out here, and then our trim will cover up any imperfections if we do have any kind of things. But I'll show you that later. Quick things here. It's important that you kind of, when you're nailing in these sheets, you start on one side and work your way to the other side, as opposed from nailing the perimeter and then like nailing inwards or something, because this way we're kind of like relieving all the stress that's built up in this panel. Like these ones that have been rained on, they're kind of bulged out a bit. So when we nail them from one side, it kind of just squeezes all that pressure out of there and keeps them nice and straight, eh? So I hope you're not abandoning bear and wolf duty here, my boy. I'm just fucking with you, bud. Anyways, we'll show you how things are looking here. Got all that sheathed now. Love some crisp corners, bud. That's what it's all about right there. The back's all done here too now. It's been done for a while. Looking good. See, sandwiched right up to the ends of the rafters there. Mint. And yeah, you can see nice, real nice here. Over here too, that's what you want. And just got to do this bit over here yet. So giving her, but I should probably fire up the old chainsaw and cut that bit off for my windows here before I get too far ahead of myself. Okay, I got them cut out as nice as I could with the chainsaw there. It's a bit of a pain, especially when you get up here. I kind of angled my saw a little bit. You can see I've got her right flush with the edges. These are like little flaps here. It's not actually that bad. I didn't want to chew up my framing, eh? So, but pretty good. I was gonna hit them quick with the belt sander there. I have a nice little portable belt sander, but that's my last belt, eh? That would have really sucked, but such is life, man. And yeah, looking real pretty good. You see, if you're just putting in like normal windows that are designed for that rough opening, you cut that rough, you throw that window in there, no problem, not a problem at all. But I was just gonna build little insulated flaps there, so I can open up, get some sunlight in there for the chickens until the bank lets me buy windows. Okay, just working on the last wall here. It's still raining, poured through the night and this morning, so we kind of just hung out this morning. It is an absolute mess out here anyway. But just working on the last of the walls here. The wall with the door on it here. And yeah, so we're gonna need a couple different pieces to do this section. First off, gonna need a 33-inch wide by 95 5/8 I'm lining that sheet up to the bottom of the top plate, so I got lots to nail. I don't want this sheet on the top plate because I want that to nail my triangular section. And so I cut 33 inches off this side, and then, or I cut 15 inches off this side, so this side is 33 inches. And I just shaved 3/8 off the top. Keep everything nice and flush and nice and deadly, but I like to use my nice straight factory lines for the important shit. Like, I've cut off here, so that isn't straight at all. But when I put my corner trim on there, that stuff all gets covered up. But it's very important I use this nice straight line to line up my door, and you can see how nice and flush and pretty that is. And then I also use that nice flush line to line up the bottom here, so it's really nice there too. So I'm gonna need another section here, and then got to put a piece here and a piece there. Well, progress report here. Filled in these little gaps. Got this side of the wall done here. It's looking real nice. I took a 22 1/4 inch high by 30 inch piece to cover this gap. Burn that from some scratch there, and then I put a little 3-inch strip here to cover the bottom of the door. And this rain is getting something ridiculous here, and it's supposed to rain some more. And I'm probably gonna start on the roof here, get that all sheathed before I piss around with these triangular pieces on the sides, because it's just won't stop raining shit, and all of this water's accumulating on the plywood of the floor, which is no good, man. Okay, update. It's still fucking raining, but anyway, just getting started on the roof here. Had quite an extended lunch break there. Had a hell of a time getting a fire going. All my lumber is just soaked. So yeah, we're just getting started on the roof here. I want to show you a couple things here. You can see it's, like I said, it follows the exact same stud dimensions on the roof as it does on the lower walls, on these 12-footers, and on the floor. Like they're all the same, eh? So it's the exact same thing. We're running 3 sheets vertically, and you can see it's lined up to half this sheet here. So you can see I've lined that up right flush with the edge of the end board on the rafter tail there. And because we've lowered that to the correct level, you can see how nice it sits there, eh? Couple other important things. I'm lining it right up to the edge here. Gonna do something very important on the side of this roof, probably in another episode. That's a little tricky to explain. I'll get to that later. I did some experimenting there at different measurements, and then I just put a piece of scrap there, and you can see I just used my triangle there, and I'm just a little bit below with the edge of my plywood, eh? You can't have this bit higher than your ridge, or you're gonna have issues, eh? And this will be a vent here, and we'll cap that off there when we shingle it. And you can see it's lined up right in the center. And yeah, so I've cut this one at 68.5 inches, and it's just a little bit below there. Just thought I would give myself a little room for error there if I do cut a little bit off there or whatever else, say. So but yeah, these little sheets, this isn't too steep of a roof, so it's not too hard to work on. And you know, like the same story again, I don't have my alignment lines here for my nails, but you'd see right where it is, and you just follow it down straight line. It's really no problem. It's gonna take 6 sheets cut at 68.5 inches here on this roof, and then we'll be set to roll here, guys. It still hasn't stopped raining. It is so muddy. The cabin's so muddy. The dog's so muddy. It's just a mess, man. So anyway, stay tuned there, fellers. Okay, just working on the last step of this exterior sheathing, and that is the triangular sections on the side. You can see I've already got this here one done on this side, looking good there. And these triangular cuts aren't really all that difficult. You don't really, all you have to do here, guys, is take your tape measure. So you can see this is a top plate, measure the distance it needs to be up here and the distance it needs to be at the peak. And then you draw a line from that measurement and this measurement. But you also have to find how far out that measurement is. So this is an 8-foot wall. So on the previous section, I measured how far I had to come up in the peak right at 48 inches. Cut that piece out. Now to do all of the triangular sections on one sheet, I'm gonna have to cut the next bunch into half. So you can see I've marked 48 inches and that's how high it needs to be at the start. And then here is the peak. So I'll cut it into 2 pieces, put them up, and show you the finished product. Okay, well here she be in all her glory. Let's show you around here a bit. So all the corners we will be covering up with trim there, exterior trim. The chicken coop's gonna be painted red and we're gonna use white trim and have white fascia underneath it. You can see I've left this piece without plywood. The reason for that is I think I'm gonna bend my aluminum fascia around there, around there instead of building bird boxes for that. But I might come back to that, and it's a really easy piece to do. It'll take seconds. As for this, I'm gonna use white exterior trim here, like trim board, as the rake for these side walls. It's essentially like it'll be cut exactly the same as the rafter and come to the end of this end board. And just because you couldn't have the roof like how it is now, or you'd have it all running down the side pretty bad. So we're gonna add that exterior or rake board on later on. The reason for that is when I paint this, it's gonna save me a lot of time because I don't have to paint around all this trim and whatnot. We're gonna be building doors and probably some windows here, wooden flap windows to open and close. We'll have to build a little chicken coop door. Same thing with the rake board on the other side, but white exterior trim on the bottom. Still don't know quite what I'm going to do about the bottom 4.5 inches. There, might use some trim there too, or you can just leave it as it is too as well. But yeah, it took me 17 sheets of plywood to do this entire chicken coop. And I was left with a fair bit of scrap from the roof and whatnot. Cut quite a bit off the roof. You can see this is all from the roof. But other than that, there really wasn't any scrap. But I'll find uses for that stuff for sure. Probably on my windows and whatever else. We got to do insulation. Probably wire a plug there for my heater, because we are in the Canadian North there, bud. And yeah. And like I said, white fascia on the bottom here. And yeah, I'm super happy with how this is looking. It's been a real nice build. You know, it's a breath of fresh air. I actually planned this build out and did a little budgeting here and there, you know, like with the cabin, I just threw shit together, eh? So we're certainly learning a lot as we go along, that's for sure. Still no master carpenter, but picking up a few tips and tricks here and there. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching another episode of Trap Lines and Inlines. To see the rest of this chicken coop build, or the off-grid cabin build, outdoor living, all the hunting, trapping we do, and all that stuff, feel free to subscribe. Okay, thank you guys. Till the next time.